What's up guys? I am Sarah Caney. Thank you so much for coming back and watching another awesome video. If you're not already a part of our socially awkward family, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And follow me on Instagram, links are down below. But yeah, let's get to the video. So today we are reacting to some kids that had some very creepy imaginary friends. These are just some stories I found of people describing their kids' imaginary friends, and they get weird. So it's gonna be fun. Comment below if you've ever had an imaginary friend, and yeah, let's do this. My son from the age of 3 always tells me about the creeper man who lives in my mom and dad's bedroom. He brings it up after he visits them. I made the mistake once of asking what he looks like. My son said, "Oh, he doesn't have a face." Oh, just like that. Yeah, by the way, Mom, my friend doesn't have a face. It's great. I would be like, boy, if you don't get out of here with that nonsense. That is disturbing. If your child comes up with that mess, I'm sorry, you give him up to adoption. He's messed up. I'm kidding, don't give him up, but take him to therapy, at least. Cause there's something not right if his imaginary friend doesn't have a face. A parent of one of my students told us in a meeting that she was concerned because her 7-year-old talked about an invisible ghost who would talk to him and play with him in his room. He said the ghost was called the Captain and was an old white guy with a beard. Is this Captain Crunch? I would love to be friends with Captain Crunch. This kid would tell his mom that the captain told him when he grows up his job will be to kill people, and the captain would tell him who needed to be killed. The kid would cry and say he doesn't want to kill when he grows up, but the captain tells him he doesn't have a choice and he'll get used to killing after a while. Captain Crunch, you better get out of here with that murder nonsense. Don't be turning my kid into Ted Bundy, okay? I don't need a serial killer in my family. This kid has a heck of an imagination. When my daughter was 3, she had an imaginary friend named Kelly who lived in her closet. Kelly sat in a little rocking chair while she slept, playing with her, etc. Typical imaginary friend. Anyway, fast forward 2 years, the wife and I are watching the new Amityville, the one with Ryan Reynolds. And our daughter walks right out when a dead girl goes all black-eyed in the movie, I'm guessing. Far from being disturbed, she said, "That looks like Kelly." Kelly who, we say? You know, the dead girl that lived in my closet a couple years ago. That girl looks like Kelly. Yeah, you're going to therapy. Kelly is not that attractive, I'm guessing. My little brother's imaginary friend, Roger, lived under our coffee table. That's a interesting home. Roger had a wife and 9 kids. Roger was a grown man living under a table, what the heck? Roger and his family lived peacefully alongside us for 3 years. One day, my little brother announced that Roger wouldn't be around anymore since he shot and killed him and his whole family. I don't know if he remembers any of this, but his genuine lack of remorse was very disturbing. Wait, this kid is saying he murdered his imaginary friend and his whole family, including kids. And he didn't even care? What? Your kid is a little, messed up. I'm sorry, but something's wrong. That is a little concerning. Poor Roger. He was just living under a table, minding his own business. When my older daughter was 2 or 3, she used to have a couple of imaginary friends, Dodo and Dee Dee. They were typical imaginary friends. She would talk to them and play with them and tell me about their lives. Then one day, when she was about 3, she was talking on her play phone when I walked into the room. She hung up her phone and said to me with a completely flat voice and deadpan expression, "The evil is coming." Okay, when exactly are they coming so we can get out of here? If my daughter said that to me, I'd probably smack her. I'd say, "What'd you just say?" No evil is coming up in my house. When my mom was younger, she had an imaginary friend named Shaggy. When she was finished with Shaggy, she chopped him up and put him in the fridge. Your mom murdered her imaginary dog. I don't know, Shaggy sounds like a dog name, not a person. Wait, was your mom imaginary friends with Shaggy from Scooby-Doo? And then she murdered him? Okay, if you don't like the show, that's fine. You don't have to kill the guy. When my brother was just learning how to talk, he grabbed one of those small toy hammers and crawled onto the sofa where my dad was sleeping. He then leant in close and whispered one of his first sentences, smashed Daddy's head right into his ear. I'd cover my ears. Why do you want to smash Daddy's head? Where did you hear that? I would go up to all of my kids' friends and be like, which one of y'all said that to him? When my brother was little, he acted like he had angels talking to him every second. One day, my mom overheard him say, "I can't kill him, he's my only dad." These angels told you to kill your dad? I'm pretty sure they're not angels. It sounds like, schizophrenia or demons. Yeah, no, that's not okay. My daughter used to tell me about a man who came into her room every night and put the sign of the cross on her forehead. I thought it was just a dream. Then my mother-in-law sent over some family photos. My daughter looked right at the picture of my husband's father, who has been dead for 16 years, and said, "That's the man who comes into my room at night." My husband later told me his father would always do the sign of the cross on his forehead when he was young. Oh my gosh, her grandpa was visiting her. That's so sweet. I want to cry. If that happened to me and my kid, I would straight up cry. And I would get mad. I'd be like, why aren't you visiting me? My wife and I overheard my 2-year-old daughter on the baby monitor wake up on Saturday morning and say, "What? Okay, I'll tell her." And then get up and come into our bedroom and told my wife, "Mary says you're doing a good job." Mary was her grandmother that she was extremely close to that passed away. Oh my God. She was telling her good job. That is precious. I feel like that would be the most adorable thing. The little girl is just like, "Okay, I'll tell her, Mom." My grandfather had a camp on Lake Deering in New Hampshire when I was a kid. One day when I was 6 or so, I fell off of the dock and into the water. I couldn't swim. While under, I distinctly remember seeing a little girl down there who told me to look up towards the sun and just keep kicking and I'd be fine. I swam up to the surface just in time for my grandfather to swoop me up and pull me back on the dock. I don't care if she's trying to help me. If I see a little girl under the water, I'm out. That sounds so creepy. A kid I used to babysit had imaginary friends. They were dead. One had no head, one was an old lady, and they were both bloody. The one with no head had insides sticking out of its neck. I didn't ask him questions about that because screw that. Yeah, I wouldn't investigate either. That is... ew. Those are some interesting friends you got there, kid. When my kid was 4, we were watching a docu on the Titanic. The scene was a picture of the schematics of the boiler room and the camera panned from left to right over the plans. He pointed at the TV and said, "That's wrong, the boilers were on the other side and I was right there." And he pointed to his small space in the boiler room. That's where I was and that's why I don't like water now. What? Dude, it sounds like this kid was possessed for a second by the dude that was in the boiler room. And he was like, that's wrong and it's driving me crazy. Oh my God. I was 17 and babysitting a friend of the family 6-year-old. He'd been in bed a couple of hours and I just peeked in to check on him. He wasn't in the bed and when I opened the door wider, I saw he was standing in the corner facing the wall. Creepiest thing ever. I asked him what he was doing and all he did was turn around, smile, and put his finger to his lips as if to say, "Shh." I asked him again what he was doing and all he said is, "Leave us, it is the punishment." What punishment are you talking about, kid? No. First thing my mom would say is, who gave you the right to punish my kid? That's my job. In high school, one of my best friends had a little sister who was 5 or 6 years old. One day we stopped by his place completely high because he needed to get his magic cards. While waiting for him to come downstairs, his sister came up to me and said, "Icy told me to ask you if you know when you're going to die." I laughed nervously. Morbid question, right? But I knew all about Icy, her imaginary friend. I even helped her draw a picture of him once. So I played along and said, "No, of course not. No one knows that, hopefully when I'm very old." The girl shook her head sadly and said, "No, Icy wants me to tell you it'll be tonight." And with that, she just walked away. I'd be like, "Girl, get back here. You better tell me some details." And tell Icy it's not happening. And that is it for reacting to some very creepy imaginary friends. These kids are messed up, man. My kid's not having any imaginary friends. I'm gonna be like, "Nope, you better stop this nonsense right now." But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think that was pretty cool. If you want a part 2, be sure to let me know below. And don't forget to subscribe, be a part of our socially awkward family, and follow me on Instagram. Links are down below. But yeah, that's it for today, so I will see you beautiful people next time.